So, we've got some questions coming in from the audience. As Brant was pointing out earlier, Zombie Brave Knight asks, I have a question about the process that triggers a base siege, and how dense the siege will be in severity, and what we can do to make it better, both easier and harder. So right now, the way that a siege works, and actually I can pop up my base screen here. You can see down here we've got right behind me we've got siege risk, and so this is obviously siege risk is it's based on the threat stat that sort of accumulates from all of your facilities and occasionally from other sources, and including your difficulty level will often add an additional thing to really try to push it over the edge. In lethal, you're basically always in the red zone. It's kind of hard not to be, unless you've got something like a Haven device zeroing it out. But basically, the way that sieges are actually triggered, they're actually just on a timer. Periodically, every around 45 minutes, a siege attempts to spawn. And if your siege risk is above a certain threshold, you're going to get a siege. And then the severity of the siege depends on exactly how high this bar is. So right now I've got it at the maximum, so I'm just going to have the worst possible siege every single time at about 45 minutes, and it's just going to be continuous. The thing is, we recognize that that's, it's not the most satisfying way for that system to work. Just being on a clock might not be sort of the cleverest way for it to work. And so we've been putting some thought into, ways we could improve that system over time. Nothing to reveal or announce yet. We're still working on that idea. But that's basically how it works. And honestly, it's simple enough that it's actually not really interesting enough to engage with. And that's sort of what makes us want to keep thinking about it. But the fact that it's simple does mean that I can explain it fairly quickly. But yeah, does anybody have anything else to add to that?
Just that it is, I understand for a lot of our players out there that, especially like the ones who play more long term and they like the higher difficulties, that it's kind of disappointing to have a siege experience that is less than challenging, we'll say. And so, we are continuing the work that Geoffrey was alluding to, and with all of that in mind, we have several different difficulty sliders, and so in terms of making it easier or harder, I hope that's what you're talking about. It's gonna change a little bit as we go forward, but we want it to be in a way that makes sense for the game and for players.
Yeah, which means we're not going to be able to talk about any details until we've really sort of worked out what we want to do. We can't make any promises either. This is one of those things where it's like we've got ideas, but until we've proven them to ourselves, the last thing we want to do is sort of make a promise to you all about what exactly is going to happen that we're then going to have to go back on when we realize that our ideas are dumb. And that happens sometimes. You can sometimes have the best intentions with an idea and then find out your idea doesn't work. But yeah, it does. It is gratifying to me to hear the audience sort of thinking about the same problems that we're thinking about. It makes me feel like we're pretty much on the right page overall. Okay, so we're here.
I agree. I'd like to address the next question.
Oh, go for it.
Which comes from Something Visited.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about how some of the new holiday pom-pom hats, or the winter beanies, are causing some problems with the sideburns, but with the hair, essentially, of the female survivors. We are aware of the issue, and we are working on a fix. It's just not something that we're going to be pushing a hot fix for. So
Lucy, I think you might have just made the thumbnail for one of the videos that,
Sweet.
that comes out of this. By the way, we did not give you sufficient warning. We did our first giveaway round just a second ago. For those of you who were not here when I first announced it, we're going to be giving away the vinyl soundtrack album. We've got several of them left over from the last time we did this. We want to make sure that people get them, and so if you want to be eligible to win that in the giveaway, you just need to type !enter into the chat. So we've already given away our first pair of them to Natural Solitude on YouTube and to Zombie Brave Knight on Twitch, the first person who asked one of our questions. So congratulations to you two. If you would like to also be a winner, please definitely enter the giveaway in the chat, and we would love to give more of these away. And remember, if you enter, definitely stick around for the rest of the stream. Find out if you won, because if you're not here when you win, we'll probably give it away to somebody else. Let me take this stuff off the screen.
I can answer a quick question here. One from La Coalition. This one is State of Decay 2 lacked a lot of resources in development. What do you think was the most problematic? Time, person, power, money, or other? And the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, I think one of our bottlenecks is the fact that programmers in particular are just in really high demand across multiple industries, not just the game industry. If somebody has is a skilled, experienced programmer, there are a lot of different places where people are eager to get their skills involved in whatever project they're doing. And so we kind of had a pretty tight bottleneck on programmers because they were just really hard to hire. There's so much that they can do, and they're so essential for so many things. And so there were a lot of places like our morale system, for instance, is basically hacked together from mission scripting by a designer because we did not have time for a programmer to implement it, and we are still reaping the negative consequences for having done it that way. But you know what? I think what we've got, as problematic as aspects of it is, it's better than having no morale system in a game that's about trying to keep a community happy. So, you know what? We made the best choices we could, but I am really glad that, since we developed State of Decay 2, we have been purchased by Microsoft. We do have access to more resources. We've actually gotten better at things like working with outside companies like Valkyrie to, when we have, a gap in our staffing, there's other ways that we can fill it. They don't necessarily, require us to. Lucy's getting ripped out of the car. They don't necessarily, require us to grow our team, in ways that sometimes can be difficult. So yeah, there's a lot more resources we have at our disposal now that I'm really excited about.
This is why I don't like Joe driving.
Part of the problem is that I've been playing a lot of a different shooter recently, and how their movement system works, it completely is incompatible with how we do it. So I keep trying to get in the car by actually climbing on top of the car, which is not how it works in our game. And so you guys keep running my character over instead of me successfully making it into the car seat.
So by the way, if anybody's got assault rifles, let's definitely use them. On that Juggernaut.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. The bouncing Boris is fun too. I'm sure La Coalition is happy that you just did that. So.
Okay, I won't use that on the next jug.
Yeah, if there is a next jug. What am I talking about? This is a nightmare. There will be a next jug. So are we taking out this plague heart here? By the way, 1 minute until the next drawing, and so if you have not yet entered, !enter, into the chat, you should definitely do so if you want to be eligible for the next giveaway.
Oh, this is
wait a minute.
Right?
The second drawing just happened, actually. We actually already have 2 winners. Both of them from YouTube. We've got Colton McCracken and Dylan Moline Lamaray. So congratulations.
Why did I bring dynamite if you're just going to shoot the thing?
So this,
Why did you run me over 8 times while I was trying to fight zombies?
Because you got between me and the zombies.
I'll talk about the album later. Mom and Dad are fighting.
Yes.
Listen, there's a feral. Okay, kill it with a blade. I gotta kill it with a blade.
Oh,
that's not a blade.
You know what? I'm just gonna deal with my own bounties later.
Yeah, don't let Brant do your bounties for you. I think that's the lesson today.
I'm getting in the car.
I'm not gonna play anymore. I'm just gonna.
All right, so Undead Toad has a question. Is it possible for the other maps, like Meager Valley, Cascade Hills, and Drucker County, to receive improvements like Providence Ridge? Yes, that is entirely possible. We started with Providence Ridge because Providence Ridge is the first map that a lot of players bloater another bloater that players will see, and so we wanted to make sure that we started by making a really good impression on all of our new players who come in. Especially this game has been out for nearly 4 years now. The game industry improves real fast, and the standards go up, and we want to make sure that people who are new to our game, who the last game they played was some brand new game that just came out yesterday. We want to make sure that that they get the sort of the most exciting experience that they can in their very first map. But that does not mean we're not working on the other maps. In fact, I would probably assume that we are working on the other maps. That's just a very good guess that you might make without me revealing anything. Oh, my face! There we go. Plague Heart destroyed.
All right, where's the pupper? There he is.
Oh, but of course the gas is still around. I always forget that gas just sticks around. Okay, good. Materials. I'm gonna need to I'll grab some gas too.
I think
I am
that's
going to need to
isn't that
upgrade my
Oh
storage.
no, that's a bladed weapon. You're right.
Yeah, the magic wand is a bladed weapon.
Oh yeah,
Thank
that
you,
is.
Joe.
Oh, did you
Sharp
just
spice.
complete my bounty by killing this pharaoh with a magic wand?
Yes.
Okay, that is amazing.
That's
Thank you,
amazing.
Brant. I appreciate it.
Does that make up for my previous error?
Oh, there was no need for making up for your previous error. You are always fine, Brant. I'm always happy to have you here.
Joe, I swear to God, if you hit me with the truck one more time, I'm driving over to your house.
I'll see you tonight then.
And I don't even have a car, and I'm still gonna drive over to your house.
Zip car. I'll see you then.
I should, by the way, give some credit. Undead Toad was not the only person who asked us about updates, art updates to the other maps. Little Ninja also asked the same question, so I'm glad that you're all interested in this. Again, this is one of those cases where stuff that we're interested in doing is also stuff that the audience is interested in. It makes me feel like we're pretty well aligned, which makes me happy to hear. Claymore Fenrir wants to know, any chance of co-op getting some more love? Like having a friend get a buff from the base, or even letting them build with you? So that is a really interesting question, because we have, at various points along the line, thought about other ways that we could manage co-op. Because we decided to go with sort of the lowest risk version of co-op, where playing co-op with a friend gave you the least chance of losing something that was important to you. We really wanted to encourage people to feel, not afraid of playing together, but that also means we missed some opportunities to have the contribution that you're making to your friend's community not just be sort of back up in a fight, but also be a little bit more creatively invested, a little bit more like you're sharing the burdens. But the thing is, we built the game a certain way, and it's actually really tough to sort of dig into a game and change its baseline assumptions about how co-op works. And so,
Well, I think in this case, Geoffrey, what the question is kind of like an example of what they're talking about is like the primary care from the infirmary, right? Like you can have that, but you can't give it to people who are visiting in your game.
right. No, that makes a lot of sense. And actually, that's a pretty reasonable request. There are some things like, hey, can I just share a base with my friend and we're both in there together? That would fundamentally alter a lot of the sort of assumptions that the game makes. But things like that, sharing sort of buffs from a base, that might be a little bit more reasonable. So that's something I should probably take a note. In fact, I will take a note about looking into
It's
that.
recorded.
Oh, that's true. But I'm not going to watch this again. Are you kidding? I'll have to watch all of the dumb things I say. I'm going to have to see them again. No way. I watch the beginning and the end to edit the video, and that's all I watch. So, yeah.
The other problem with shared bases is that we're not a server-based architecture, and it would be really hard for us to have like offline progression for bases that are shared if we have a peer-to-peer, we rely on a peer-to-peer network. So
There's
it would
Go ahead.
it would have to be querying your hard drive even when you're not playing. I don't know. It would be difficult.
Yeah, your Brant's absolutely right. And then there's also, from a design standpoint, sometimes there's a couple of systems that were originally intended for the type of co-op we currently have, and adapting them to that shared system will take significant reworks. So, like a lot of our features or the things that we want to include in the game, it all comes down to what size of idea can we fit, when will we have the time to do it, and the usual other
and what kind of
constraints
risk are we willing to
development.
take on too? Because do fundamental
Yeah.
reworks of system, it always brings in the chance of breaking things that have worked well for years and adding new bugs we don't catch until it's a little bit too late. And so anything like that where it's just you're fundamentally oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were getting out. Where you're
I
fundamentally
did, but it
reworking
wasn't
the
supposed
game.
to.
Yeah, they can be pretty risky. And they'll, and we have people in our audience who every time we issue an update, they say, "Oh, what new bugs have they introduced this time?" And haha, yes, we get your joke. But we're actively, some of the decisions we make about which features we develop do have that in mind, not wanting to add new bugs to the game that you haven't seen before. So, the thing that's cool is this is an ongoing franchise. State of Decay 2 is not the last game that's ever going to exist in this franchise. And so if there's something that we cannot fit into State of Decay 2 for whatever reason, whether it's resources, whether it's just a fundamental mismatch with the type of game it is, or if there's just too much risk to add something like that, that doesn't mean that it's hopeless for the franchise as a whole. And so as always, I'm not going to make any promises about what's going to go into State of Decay 3. We're still very early in that process. But that is, there is always room for, even if something doesn't come into State of Decay 2, that doesn't mean it'll never be in a State of Decay game. All right, so the last drawing for the album is either coming up or is already happening. I never know how old the messages that Megan sends me. Oh, it was less than a minute ago, so we're probably good. So type !enter if you haven't already, because we would love to give away these last 2 copies of the vinyl album to some of you awesome people. So far, we've been 4 for 4 and people actually being there to accept their prizes, which is really cool. Let's see here. So Diceoff asks, any chance of adding an enlist follower option in the community screen? Finding specific people in your base can be rough sometimes. It absolutely can be rough. I agree with you. Sometimes you have to switch to the character just to make sure they exist in the base, so that you can bring them in as a follower. So yes, we have talked about that. That is an item on our list. Now, the list is very long, and I'm not exactly sure how all the priorities are going to stack up, but we have definitely recognized that as being something that we know players would love to be able to do. And it would be, you're right, it's a massive UX win to be able to do that without having to hunt an actual individual person down in the physical world. So we'd love to do it. When or how is still a question mark, but we would absolutely love to do that. Yeah, okay, yeah, so the last thing that just appeared in Slack was Lucy telling me I should definitely answer that question, because yeah, it's a really good idea.
Oh, actually, I was just writing it in the chat, because I do that as a way of taking notes for myself.
Oh yeah, so I've got my
anyways.
little sticky notes on my desktop, and you've got the chat, so that's great.
Black always remembers.
La Coalición wants to know, are there any plans for us to add an additional freak to the game? So, freaks are kind of tough, right? Brant, you're probably the one who knows this stuff the best.
Yeah, I mean, we've basically maxed out the number of unique skeletons we can add to the game, just from an animation memory standpoint. And new freaks would be new skeletons and a whole bunch of new animations, and nothing but problems for our memory cap. So sadly, at this time, no.
Yeah, during my personal stream, La Coalición and some others were coming up with hypotheticals about what additional freak they would like to see in the game. There were a lot of good ideas coming out. One of them, somebody suggested that we just add a creature that is a mix of all of the freaks. So it'd be like a big, massive juggernaut that scrambles around at high speed like a feral, constantly screaming for other zombies, and every time you shoot it, a bloater gas cloud emerges from it. And I was like, I actually like my enemies with weaknesses. Oh, look, some ferals. Oh.
But just a note, we always love, if you guys enjoy making or writing fan art of your ideas, we love seeing that on various media channels that we're active in.
Yeah, totally. That would be amazing, actually. We've got such a huge contingent of people who create really great screenshots for the game, and I would love to see more fan art joining those contributions. So Graveyard Troubadour has a question about whether or not we're thinking of like revamping or adding new bases to any of our maps. And I think that's a little bit of a tough one. I often hear that question, can you add new bases to existing maps? And I mean, theoretically anything's possible, but bases are some of the more bigger and more complex aspects of the game in terms of, the art that we invest in them, the balance effort that we invest in them, and there's just a lot of moving parts there. And so, I mean, it's actually a lot easier to change every tree in the map than to add a new base to the map. And so I think that's unlikely, especially if you're talking about an existing building that already might be used in some way in somebody's saved game. Trying to change an existing thing into a base, I think would probably cause a lot of potential headaches and weird problems in people's save files. So we try to avoid that idea if we can.
When we do these big map visual updates like we've done for Providence Ridge, though, that does come with a certain amount of visual updates to the bases, or they are affected by it. So, in a sense, but it won't be brand new bases with new mechanics, unfortunately. But we will,
Yeah, you will see some.
We're always looking for doable ways.
I need to put more effort into actually getting into the room when you guys defeat these plague hearts. It's like I'm just going to end up with a map with no plague hearts. I didn't even see them go away.
Brant and Joe just need to look at a plague heart, so you might be out of luck there.
I got chastised, so I'm standing outside. I haven't been in a plague heart since.
Well, I'm out of
It's
dynamite.
Joe's turn to use the plague heart.
Oh, I actually destroyed it this time. I contributed, everybody. I'm so proud.
Yay.
Whoa, this is the most messed up drivable car I've seen in a long time.
It runs?
It actually
Oh.
runs.
I
Oh,
actually forgot to
I love
drop.
it.
I've been wearing a rucksack this whole time like a giant idiot. So I'm going to drop off this rucksack, and then I need to pick up a new one. Unfortunately, we haven't found any meds rucksacks, and I'm pretty sure that I'm all out of meds now. So,
Well,
we just
there's
passed
the
med
medical
place.
tent.
oh yeah, can
Yeah.
we go search that medical tent real quick? My community would really appreciate it. They're all out of drugs. All right, I'll just hop in to the medical tent.
Real quick answer for Ice Bear. No, we don't have any plans to add a first-person camera. That introduces, you almost have to build your game from the top or from the bottom up to make first-person camera work well, because you change what your priorities are for building objects. And
Like just
and
imagine some of
texturing
those
objects.
some of the sword moves your character can do where they actually spin around. Imagine how that would look in first person. It's like we would have to redo everything in order to make it work.
It's really problematic.
So I'm kind of annoyed at Rockstar because they did something that basically, because they just have a lot of resources, they're able to do things that other studios can't do. So they added a first-person mode to Grand Theft Auto 5, and now everyone thinks that that's just a thing you can do. Oh, let's just click the button that says make first-person. And you can just do it. You can't. That took them a ton of work to make Grand Theft Auto work with in first-person, and so it's not something somebody can just trivially do. It's like making a whole new game.
They have the benefit of having the game industry's best engine for open world games for for this kind of game. Joe?
I don't
I'll
think
see
we
you
got any
tonight.
meds.
No meds there?
I don't think we did. But you know what? I think I can afford to claim this outpost, so I'm going to do that instead. And at least we'll start getting meds regularly.
Good thinking.
And let's see if I can also upgrade this outpost. I can. Thank you, Lucy. So now I'll even be making a profit. That'll be great.
So I spy a question for me in the chat,
Oh, yeah.
asking about why built-in facilities on Trumbull Valley change maintenance.
They charge maintenance.
Oh, charge maintenance and increase threat, while bases from all other maps do not do that. So with the design of the built-in facilities on all of the bases in Trumbull, my goal was to try and deliver experiences that we hadn't seen before, and that sometimes resulted in maybe a few little mad science experiments. The infamous bug with the bunkhouse in the farm base was caused by this, unfortunately, but the idea is, look at all the other bases that we've ever done and what haven't we tried yet, and among other things, that was one part.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's like we really want there to be a lot of strategic variety in the game, and a lot of just different choices you can make. And so so I think that was exactly the right approach that you took, Lucy, which is trying to figure out, because just doing another base that's just like the lumberyard, or another base that's just like the container fort wouldn't be that interesting. And so but we actually had already we'd made a lot of different decisions already with the bases we already had, and so I'm impressed you even found anything that you could do to try things we hadn't tried before.
Well, part of it also, I'm starting. It's been a while since I, thought about how I made those decisions, but the general idea I was also taking is trying to theme the facilities after what the location was about in our story. So the farm base in particular was formerly a refugee camp, and so they had a lot of buildings that were already trying to be turned into other things because they were trying to be resourceful. So it kind of lent itself well to have a facility that changed, that charged different resources than before, or changed the way it functions when the player chooses. to kind of match that story.
So I should announce, by the way, that we do have our next 2 winners of the vinyl album, MRD Gaming and Slutty Little Ninja. They're the winners. So congratulations. I really hope you stuck around so that you can actually receive your prize. And anyone who did not stick around, when it gets to be about 3:45, if people who won have not managed to respond to our entreaties, we might do another run to give a few more people a chance to win. So if you're among the winners we've announced, please definitely talk to us, because we'd like for you to be able to get your prize.
We like giving things away for free.
Yeah, exactly. Star Furry.
We've done a lot of that.
I just realized I called you Star Furry instead of Star Fury. Star Fury Apollo has any chance of being able to send community members on specific scavenging assignments with a risk-reward matrix based on skills of the survivor you send. So that sounds like you're looking for a mechanic that's kind of similar to, like, what's that, like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood type mechanic, where you've got people and they're just sitting around, and so why not send them to do things? Far Cry 6 actually has a mechanic like this too, with some of the people that you recruit. And so theoretically, that sounds like a cool idea. It would be, given the fact that we sort of model the behavior of characters across the world, that would have to physically send these people across the map to go and do things. They might run into zombies, they might get killed. There's a lot of edge cases we would have to handle, so it would be a risky and expensive feature. We definitely, have seen the appeal of that, though, and I think we've got a couple of little very similar cards on our idea board suggesting the idea of being able to do more with your NPCs. So can't make any promises in that regard, but yeah, Joe.
That was one of my favorite things about the original State of Decay, is you still had the random like sandbox missions, and every once in a while, it kind of added the fact that some of those would be like, hey, rescue me, I did a bad thing and I'm in trouble now, for one of your community members. It added some flavor, I think.
Certainly more so than, say, just having a random mission pop up, like having a mission that felt like it was motivated by a decision you made. There's a level at which that could be frustrating if what you wanted was that mission to just go smoothly and handle something without you having to think about it. Then needing to deal with it later on could be frustrating, but at the same time, it's also more satisfying than just randomness, because you feel like, well, yeah, my decision led here. This is a consequence of my decision. So yeah, that could be a really satisfying, cool mechanic.
Well, and dang it, I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
Oh, Brant, that
Monday
animation was
Brant,
disgusting.
You're welcome.
Oh, I remember now. So, like, when you're sending, what would be a really frustrating aspect of that is when you send people out and you know very well that, like, that character is specifically suited and geared for the mission that you're sending them out on, and then the AI takes control of it, and it's just like, nope, totally fail. And it's just like, no, if I was in control, I would not have totally failed there. That can be a really frustrating experience for a player
I can
as
see
well.
that. I'm trying to think if there's an outpost I want to claim around here somewhere. I don't see. Is there a good other? There's kind of a lookup point over here. I want to find the nearby plague card here, because I'd love to claim like a gas or a food outpost over here. But unfortunately,
Let's go grab that cell tower.
I'll hop in the car.
That's probably the best.
I'm looking for plague hearts.
So
I'm also poking around for a repair kit, because
the car's not in great
seems,
shape.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm gonna
Since the junkyard's right here.
You said drive. You didn't say drive well.
I'm gonna lose my fancy yellow pickup truck. I love
We'll
this
just
thing.
call another one in.
I guess that's true. I did kind of cheat to get this car by just working for the company and getting a bunch of codes for retailer bonuses. So, there was a question I wanted to answer. Oh yeah, so Monster Man 32 wants to know, what is your opinion on the legacy pool now? Is it different from when the game was released? So the thing that we didn't really predict very well when the game was released was the idea that players were going to. We just didn't sort of grok the fact that you had the ability to put 12 people at a time into your legacy pool, but only take 3 at a time out. And so now originally we actually didn't have a limit on the number of characters that could be in your legacy pool, and we thought, oh yeah, if players just if they add 1 million people to their legacy pool, whatever, they wanted 1 million characters. But that actually was always going to be problematic to handle, especially since you have to scroll through them in order to add them to your community. Oh no, bloater.
The big thing about that though, Geoffrey, was early on, I think in early 20, or maybe even like late 2018, there was a huge, which is when we cut it down to 50.
Yeah.
There was a huge problem because every character was being saved.
Yeah.
Every character.
And it meant that your cloud save got so huge that actually Xbox Live wouldn't allow you to save your cloud save. And so once you got your legacy pool above a certain size, the game just stopped saving forever. So that's when we put the cap on it. But then that meant that, you know, putting in 12 people and getting out 3 at a time was a huge problem because it just would fill up, you know, in like 4 or 5 communities, 4 or 5 legacies, it would fill up, and then you have to make really hard decisions every time you complete, a legacy. So we're thinking about that right now. Joe and Brant and I have all been like advocating for a solution for that for quite some time, and we're getting closer and closer than we ever have to being able to sort of give you a way out of that situation, because we know you need it, especially those of you who have stuck with us for the past 4 years playing this game. You've got really full legacy pools by now, and you deserve a chance to get something out of them. So yeah, we're gonna keep working on that problem.
Don't kill that plague heart.
Don't kill this one?
Yeah, don't. Oh, never mind. It's 2 juggernauts. Yeah, don't kill that plague heart because it will kill the juggernauts.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
and we want to kill them a different way. Where are they?
Yeah.
You wanted
Are you guys
assault, right?
getting cocky?
We wanted assault, and so I've only got 7 bullets left in my assault rifle.
It's all right. We only have to finish it with an assault weapon.
That is true. So let me thin out these
Can I
zombies.
use my
a little
radio
bit.
commands here?
Yep. Some of them you can.
I just set myself on fire. That's fine.
Oh yes, that is absolutely fine.
Yeah, everything's fine here.
It's to clean off the blood plague.
Yeah, exactly.
Or as Fall Down says, you're not willing to win if you're not willing to set yourself on fire.
Yeah, where's your commitment?
Okay, I've got an assault rifle. As soon as one of those guys goes down, I can take them out.
Yeah, I've only got 1 bullet left in mine, so.
Well, I've got an assault shotgun.
Damn it.
Stop throwing things.
Sorry, I just threw something.
So they've got this juggernaut.
The only thing I get to throw is my back. Out.
Ooh, I hope not.
Oh, he's going down. He's going down. Somebody assault rifle him. Yes. Thank you, Brant.
There we go.
I love that I always get so much help with my bounties by running this stream from people who are better at the game than I am.
I just got some 7.62 rounds if people need them.
So, let's see here. Yeah, I think we might be. Yes, we're gonna be redrawing for one of our winners because one of our winners of the vinyl ran out without claiming their prize, and so we're gonna be doing another drawing. So, good luck to everybody who entered the giveaway.
Smash that enter button. Oh, wait.
Ow. Ow.
Oh crap! I thought I was dodging at the right time, but I failed. Come here. There. Come on. Yes. There we go. I'm just making a bunch of noise in nightmare mode. No big deal. But yeah. Oh yeah. And because we're in plague territory, we're not really having an effect on the spawner at all. Oh, we're not in plague territory anymore. And actually, yeah, we really have cleared out in the heat map. Like, you can see, like, we've got the sort of the darker areas over here, but where we've been fighting, the spawner is a lot more calmed down, which is really cool.
Sorry. I touched something and instantly crash.
So
So much for stealth character.
Liam has a really interesting question. He says, some of the tutorial images in the game show blood plague zombies having blood bubbling off their skin. What happened to that? Brett, do you know the story? Because we actually did end up using that effect later for the Haven device. But do you know the story on like why it didn't work initially?
Well, I actually don't know why it's not working. They're supposed to be doing that all the time.
I'm pretty sure that was actually a choice. There was some particular reason why, like either it was performance or it was there was something about that effect that wasn't quite working when we initially shipped. So we got a lot of screenshots of it, but it didn't actually end up in the game.
I believe part of the problem was the performance. Ouch! I'm getting handled pretty poorly here.
I've completely lost you all. Oh, you're over there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we kind of
at me.
need you over here because this is where we came over here for the repair kit.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Well,
Whoa.
sorry, Joe. I'm fighting zombies.
You can't. You're not the host.
He's talking to me. I'll get in there with you. Oh, no, never mind. I'll kill this zombie
Sorry,
instead.
Brant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you came over here for a repair
Didn't
kit.
see
Well, that
you
makes
there.
sense.
Yeah, these sites, for anyone who doesn't already know, they're guaranteed for the host to have a repair kit.
And also the plague heart had a
Fuel
repair
thing.
kit. I've got one.
All right.
And I got the meds that I was looking for, so that's great.
Nice.
Teamwork makes the dream sort of work.
Oh, so actually, I think I might have been wrong.
With bug testing.
When I said that we were doing another drawing, I think I was wrong. I think that actually at the very last minute, our moderators did get in contact with all the winners. So I think all the people who won the vinyl, they really did win, and we didn't have to go back on any of that. So congratulations, all you folks that I announced earlier. Miguel Hernandez wants to know what revolver I'm using. This is the old Lawman's Viper. It's pretty nice. It's a 357, and yeah, so far I've been pretty pleased with it. Hey, look, our truck is all fixed. Ultra Crepidarian 7 wants to know, when the map has these red areas and we turn them lighter by defeating zombies, will they ever come back and be more red again? Yes, they will. It really, the rate at which they come back depends on your difficulty level. They'll stay lighter longer in green, and they'll come back to red much faster and lethal. But yeah, they do eventually come back. And actually, it's just reflecting something the game was already doing behind the scenes. We just weren't advertising it until Zoe added this heat map. She did make some tweaks to the way it works behind the scenes too, but we always have dampened the spawner whenever you killed a lot of zombies in an area, or at least we've been doing that for a very long time. But we just never told you. And so a lot of what we've been looking at, ways to improve the game, we've been looking at ways to just take things the game is already doing and making it obvious that that's what the game is already doing. Because you're more able to enjoy something if you actually know what's happening, we find.
Does anyone need plague cure?
I think I'm good.
And I would like to just go back to that. Zoe has made a few changes that, at least for lethal folks, that involve this heat map. Yeah, it's gonna make sure that there's not huge dead zones like there used to be behind the scenes. So. Zoe's been doing lots of creative playing around, and I'm truly happy that she's doing the work that she's doing. It's super awesome.
So, J.W. Dillinger says, would you guys ever consider doing a crossover with other zombie media, like clothing options from The Walking Dead or Resident Evil? So a lot of that, if we were to do it, it would require, a lot of businesses at the business level to sort of shake hands above our heads. And so that's not the kind of thing that we can just sort of come up with on our own and decide to make happen at the level of just being on the team, like the four of us. The thing is, we already kind of, because our game is such a sort of broad, middle-of-the-road representation of zombie apocalypse, it's full of nods to all kinds of different zombie media kind of already. I feel like, we don't necessarily need to go hyper-specific in representing one particular thing in order for those to sort of feel like you've kind of got the vibe of a lot of these other zombie franchises influencing us in one way or another. And you can see our love of a lot of the of zombie media in sort of the way we work Easter eggs and stuff into the game. We're actually going to be doing a sort of a movie night as a studio this week. We're going to be watching Zombieland, which is actually one of the original inspirations for the game. Brant, I believe that was Brant's suggestion, wasn't it, Brant?
Yeah, it was actually, it came out right when we started production. The original inspiration was Romero, of course, but one during the sort of the original design process when Doug and I were working on the game pitch was the comic book for Walking Dead.
Because the show wasn't out yet when you started working on the game.
The show started about, I don't know, I'd say a year before we shipped.
Which was
And-
fortuitous, because I think that built a huge audience of people who were hungry for a game like this
It
just
certainly
in
did.
time.
It certainly did. But yeah, the comic book had, especially the first season, had a real effect on a lot of the decisions we made early on.
Mill wants to know just what difficulty level we tend to play at when we're not playing on the stream here. I am much more of a Dread player generally. Lately I've been playing on Nightmare because I've been trying to keep this particular this community that we're playing here on the stream, it's on Nightmare, so that we can get into a interesting enough challenge for it to be interesting to watch the four of us play, especially because a lot of the people who play on the stream, not me, a lot of them are Lethal Zone players, so I want to get it at least up to Nightmare Zone so that we can make it interesting. And so I've been playing on this community a lot in the Nightmare Zone, which is straining my skills. I'm much more of a Dread Zone player. What about the rest of you?
I definitely am also about the same level. I rely on cheats for playing this game way too often because when I do a lot of play testing. So I do think that affects my skill level. My area of expertise really is just more in how to hook things up in the game as opposed to killing zombies effectively.
Now, I'm pretty sure that Joe and Brant both tend to play in the Lethal Zone. Would you say that's correct?
I do not. I play in Nightmare and I visit Lethal a lot, but I don't play. I don't have a community in Lethal.
That makes sense. So you're basically, so your relationship to Nightmare and Lethal is my relationship to Dread and Nightmare. Where Dread is where I'm comfortable, but Nightmare is where I sort of go when I want to be extra challenged.
And yes, I live in Lethal, pretty much.
Yeah, Joe.
Oh.
Joe is one of our most skilled players at the company, so he belongs in the Lethal Zone. I'm just realizing I should switch to a blunt weapon real quick, because if there's any plague zombies out here, I can complete my last bounty. Don't kill that one. Mine.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It wasn't you. That was
protector
Jawa.
mode. I'm actually in the barn loft right now.
Oh, you're
shooting
just
at it.
sniping folks? Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you hit him in the eye socket, Lucy.
Turning them into pincushions is fun.
Of course, as soon as I grab my blunt weapon, all the plague zombies disappear.
Oh, you need to kill plague zombies with blunt weapons?
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now. But it's not that. I mean, that's going to be an easy one to do. Don't worry about it.
I'm switching to blunt right now.
Oh, wait. I'm trying to remember. Screamers count, right?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's find out.
I think bloaters count too.
Yeah, let's kill a bloater with a blunt weapon. That sounds great.
I mean, there's one coming. There's one on the ground. Like, you got it.
Oh,
You got
no.
this thing.
Somebody already grabbed that one.
Well, I was trying to kill the one with this thing, but targeting seems fun.
It's not going to count if you run up to a bloater with a blunt weapon. Don't follow Joe's lies.
They make the worst bubble wrap ever.
So, La Coalition, let's take at least one last question. La Coalition wants to know if they're ever going to get the ability to, manually edit the hair and or beards of their characters. So first off, no, we're not going to edit beards on characters. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Not that we wouldn't love them. I'm a big fan of beards as a general rule. But I don't think at this point we're probably going to add them. Sorry, I know that's been controversial for about 4 years now. As far as being able to edit their hair, I mean, right now we just haven't set up our characters to have that be a mutable part of them. Right now, each character sort of has a hairstyle that's built into them, and then each hat, I believe, defines an alternate hairstyle that if the character needs to put that hat on, they can switch to an appropriate hairstyle depending on which hair they already had. And that system is already established. I think we're going to have to leave it in place.
Yeah, simple answer is no.
Yeah. All right, well, it is 3:59, so we should probably start wrapping this up. Thank you, you three, for hanging out with me and running around and all of your, really informative and insightful answers to these questions, and also just for the passion that you've poured into this game so far as developers and colleagues. I feel, this has been a really exciting and fun year for me. And I owe a lot of that to not only to the audience, who of course we're going to be thanking shortly, but to you three and the rest of the team. This has just been a glorious year, and I really appreciate it. Brant, do you have anything you want to say as we're wrapping up?
Yep, it's been a good year, and as usual, thanks to all of you for making it possible. The fact that you continue to play State of Decay and tell your friends about it is why we're still able to keep adding to it. So we love you and have a safe holiday, and thank you.
It feels like you're bestowing a blessing on us from the sky, Brant.
Well, I'm wafting in the clouds.
Yeah, you look like you're some kind of like cloud god from a Disney movie or something like that. It's great. Joe, thank you so much for being here. And anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Yes, actually, we are rapidly coming into the holiday season, and so I just want to say happy holidays to everybody out there that's in the audience, but especially a happy holidays to the team at Undead. Y'all have made me feel like family, and I haven't rehearsed this, so I might tear up a bit. Y'all have made me feel like family, and it's just I want you to know that it is always appreciated. I don't know that the fans know how easy it is to put a lot of love into something when you're receiving a lot of love from the people who make it. And so to the Undead family, to our Undead fans, thank you.
Well, thank you, Joe. And Lucy, got any last thoughts?
Yeah, I also just want to give a huge thank you to, first of all, everyone at the lab who may or may not be watching this. I don't know how many of them watch the stream, but this has been a crazy year, and we've done a lot. Like, I can't believe how much that we've accomplished in changes to the game in just this such a short time. And I'm really excited to see what the new year brings. And of course, as always, thank you all to our wonderful fans. Please continue dreaming up crazy suggestions, because it gives us more things that we can maybe do with the game.
And with that, we're going to wrap things up. So this has been an eventful year, and guess what? Next year is going to be just as exciting. We've got a lot of stuff that's still in the works. All the people who every single time we release an update say, well, this was the last update. They're still wrong. There's still plenty coming down the pipe. And so we're looking forward to seeing the rest of you, to seeing the rest of what we got to do in the coming year. So let's see. So I think this is going to be, yes. So this is the last stream of the year. The next time we're streaming is going to be January 10th, about a month from now. So we look forward to seeing all of you then. In the meantime, have a beautiful holiday season. And yeah, we're just excited to see where 2022 is going to take us. Bye. And it's awkward.
Even the last one of the year?
So
this is the
awkward.
last one.
Well, I mean, Geoffrey and Joe are streaming our game pretty regularly, so it's not really the last stream.
Yeah, I guess that's true.